Hello and welcome to another NLO8 video. Here today what we've got for you in two parts is a win from one of our players in a $2.20 no limit Omaha high-low tournament. The first part will play through the tournament up until we get to the final table, and the second part will be the final table. Anyway, let's get right into it and see what happens here. I can't imagine our player will be playing this one. No, he folds. And we'll just quickly run through the hands he doesn't play in so we can see what sort of reads he's making, what sort of information he's getting. Okay, he'll stay out of the way here again. He bets at that. And folds. Okay, oh, we've got a hand we can play now. It comes in. Okay, we don't flop very well. It's a pretty weak low that we got there and not much for a high. Gets out of the way, of course. Okay, he won't play that hand. All these funny small bets. Can't believe people are getting away with such tiny blocking bets. But it is a $2.20 game, so I guess it's to be expected. Well, I wouldn't have been too eager to play with that hand. Okay, we get a flop. We don't really flop much of anything. Small flush draw on a paired board is not a good idea to draw to. He gets out of the way, of course. Fairly standard. Not sure what newbie was doing drawing there. Maybe he had some sort of pair. Kana had a king. Maybe he had an overpair, or maybe he was drawing to a flush on a board with two kings on it. So we'd probably be making a note on newbie here. Well, probably drawing wide. Our player will get out of the way of this. Yeah. Oh, he certainly wanted to take that pot down, didn't he? Okay, maybe our player will play from late position with this. Oh, well, not against that action. Totally get out of the way. Bishop getting a bit enthusiastic with that hand. I think it's far too early to be going with a hand like that. He's a luck box to win. There are some players really do open up far too much in turbos. I mean, sure, you do need to make some adjustments for the fact that blinds are going up, so people are playing with slightly wider ranges, but don't take it too far. Our player might call here. No, he folded. Okay, I wouldn't minded a call, but it's probably worked out for the best because he would have had to have folded to that raise behind him. Now we definitely make a note on newbie. There was no need for him to put his tournament life on the line at this stage. But he did. We could play here. It's playing tight. Oops. Okay, will he play this one? No. And that's interesting to note how this hand played out. So we'd make a note on this guy that he's prepared to call down on a flop non-nut flush, and this guy is prepared to keep playing on a flop flush board with only two pair. See if our player plays this one. I think he should. Oh, that's I can understand playing tight in the early levels, especially if your style is to then start jamming really wide as the blinds get higher. Especially at the lower levels, it does fool other players into thinking you're a lot tighter than you really are, especially if they're looking at their stats and they're going, oh, this guy never plays a hand. And then all of a sudden you start jamming and they're not adjusting for the changing stack sizes. But, I probably would have played this hand myself, but anyway. Well, was an interesting play from the button there. He's gone. Again, I probably would have played that, but okay, let's see if we get any action here. Okay, we'll get a flop. And it's a small pot, out of position, with only a second nut low draw, very weak high. May as well just fold, and he does. No point fighting over a small pot with a weak hand out of position. And he'll be folding this one too. Might. Don't have a problem with that fold too. Going with the play tight early and then play really loose aggressive later strategy. Well, sometimes, you know, if the stacks are a bit deeper, I wouldn't mind a call on the button with a hand like that, even though you can't make a nut low. Well, he'll definitely be playing this one. The only question is, will he just jam it or not? I guess at this stack size, he's probably going to jam it. And these people are calling wide, so yeah, there he goes, gets a call. And yes, does get a wide call. I would not have been calling my stack off with only a high pair of kings. King, king, 2, 3, certainly worth looking at, but yeah, without having any low equity, that was a bit of a crazy play, but our player's thankful. He's doubled up. He'll get out of the way there. Now, fold this. Okay. Continuation bet, a call, and check. And a call, and check and a check. Oh, interesting. And he spiked the river for 2 pair. Yeah. Yeah, a player won't play that. Not much there, so we got a raise, fold. Get out of the way there. Yeah. Ooh, there's an action. Whoa, a lot of action for a board like that. Obviously, a couple of players must have deuce 3, and yes, yes, a couple of players do have deuce 3. Okay, one player gone. Oh, just go. Oh, won't. I was going to show that other hand again. Okay, we've been reseated. Let's see what happens. Not much. Oh, he's got a hand here now. I imagine he'll be eager to play this one. Just call from the small blind. That's perfectly fine. Okay, interesting. So we've flopped the second best high hand possible on this board, given our holdings. So obviously the only hand we're behind is a pair of aces. We've made aces full instead of eights full. Now, just the thing to point out here, there's a lot of players who will slow play on a board like this. I disagree with that idea because whilst you're really strong on the high, you don't want someone with deuce 3 coming in to take the low side of the pot, even deuce 4 to split the low side of the pot. You want the whole pot. So, oh, he checks. Okay, bet now the hammer will come. Yep, that's the way to do it. Don't let other, defend your strong high hands and don't allow people to get in cheap to take the low side of the pot off you. Yep, bad player takes down the pot. He's got to be happy with that. Okay, what have we got here? He'll get out of the way again. Okay, won't play this hand. You want to play this one. 2 times raise. Okay, bottom 2 pair with the nut low draw. It's the nut low draw that gives this hand its strength, so he'll be continuation betting. And he does, bit over half the pot. Gets called. Okay, let's see if he represents that king. King is a good, yeah. I'm not sure I'd necessarily jam in that spot, but I would certainly fire another bullet, empty another barrel at this point, because having raised pre-flop, we're in a strong position to represent that we have that king. And of course, if called, we do have some high outs left in terms of straight outs. And of course the nut low draw. Let's see what happens. Opponent folds. Yeah, so a well thought out bluff. I wouldn't necessarily have jammed myself. I would have maybe bet, something like 2/3 the pot. It means you'd have to fold to a raise. But yeah, that's probably more the line I would have taken. But I would have been going. I still would have been bluffing that turn, or semi-bluffing that turn. Just perhaps not risking as many chips. But our players chipped up a bit. And get out of the way again for weak holding like that. Not much to work with there from under the gun. Okay, reasonable hand. Let's see what the action's like. Okay, so a player with just over 10 blinds has essentially moved all in. He's left a. So our player here, depending if the small blind folds, our player will call or well raise to put that tiny little bit of extra in. Fold. He raises. It's a race. And our player splits the pot. Wait a minute, split or did we quarter it? No, we just split. Anyway, you get out of the way here. Again, it's not the sort of hand I would have played that way. If I was going to play it with that stack size, I just would have jammed it in the first place. What did he actually do? He just, yeah, limp calling with 11 blinds. I just, yeah, jam it or fold it. But limping a weak hand like that, what was it, 8-5 for a low? Yeah, terrible play. Anyway, let's move along. Our player will get out of the way here. Yeah. Not much of interest in that hand. Okay, the big blind's all in. Will our player take a stab at that? No, still playing a little tight. Get out of the way there. Okay, here's a hand he's going to play for sure. Yeah, 2 times raise. Or in a shove. Now, let's see. Okay, now we've got an interesting decision. What sort of hands do we think the guy in the small blind is going to jam there? Let's have a look at some possibilities. Well, at this effective stack size, which is nearly 19 blinds, our opponent could have aces, of course. If we give him aces with a low card, another random card, he's going to be a million miles in front of us. But of course, he may not be at the top of his range. Let's have a look at some other possibilities. So another likely holding for our opponent here, nearly 19 blinds to jam over the top of us like that, is an ace, a big card, and a wheel card with a deuce, possibly a pair of deuces. If we remember the action, we raised from early position, and from the small blind, he's come back over the top. So, that's, if he's in that part of his range where coin flipping would certainly could take a call, but there's too much, at best we're coin flipping really against this guy's range. So I think the better part of valor here would be to fold. Calling certainly wouldn't be a big mistake. Like we said, against parts of his range, we're doing okay. Of course, ace-ace doesn't make up, isn't a hugely dense part of his range, but there's every chance he's got us on the high side. And on the low side, we've only got the ace-deuce, so we don't have a backup kicker should a deuce flop. So I don't mind if our player folds. What does he do here? Yeah, he folds. Okay. Yeah. He's also a fairly decent player, so at the $2.20 level, he doesn't need to be flipping or racing for his stack. Okay, we'll get out of the way there. Yep. Okay, we might get a flop with this hand. And we do. And we flop top set. Oh, he slow plays it. Hope he doesn't continue to stack. Good. Oh, it's called. Squeeze out a value bet of about 40% on the river. Does it get called? Yes, it does. Nice. Chipped up a little. It's got another fairly good hand. Just calls in the small blind. Okay, we've got the nut low draw. So he certainly won't be folding here. The nut low draw and the gut shot wheel. Okay, we've got the nut low. Usually I don't like to play low only hands, but in multi-way pots, and especially with ace-4 for the nut low, it's far less likely somebody else has the nut low. And even if they do, being a multi-way pot, we're still in reasonable shape. So he should call here, and he does. Great. He's not going to fold. Oh, it turned out another player did have the ace-4. So we get a quarter of the pot. So we lost a small number of chips. Yeah. It wasn't too bad. You quite often have the only nut low in that situation where you're using an 8 and a 4. An ace and a 4, sorry. So what I meant to say, my brain funked it, but my mouth didn't set it. Okay, well, chips are going in here. The only question is does he jam it or make a smaller raise? Now, a lot of people would think jamming would be a waste of your aces here. But I don't mind that play because, especially in the turbos here, people do call rather light. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he does go for the jam. Oh, on this occasion, no one called. Unfortunate. In the long run, it's not such a bad play. I wouldn't do that with unless it was a turbo though, or a hyper turbo. In the regular games, I would be trying to. You're far less likely to get called wide, so it's. To get any action, you need to raise smaller. Okay, we just drop that. Okay, I don't think our player will get involved with this one. No, not certainly against that large raise. Again, he'll probably let this go. Yep. Okay, let's see if he plays it. Now, this is a weak pair of aces. Even though it's double suited, we've got no low possibility. We've essentially got a 3-card hand. I mean, the 9, the only purpose it plays is it suits the ace. It doesn't, connect with the king. Because, like as I've said before, the only case it would make a straight is on a 10-jack-queen board. But in that case, with the ace-king, we've got a straight to the ace, not a straight to the king. So he should probably get out of the way with this one from early position. From late position, it's playable. Yeah. Of course, people are jamming like crazy in a turbo, so you don't really want to be limping in too much at this stage from early position. Okay, yeah, nothing much here. Again, this will be a fold, yep. Wow, so we had a bottom set against flush and straight draw. Fought that one out. And the flush got there. Cut that. I'm surprised that this person folded their small blind with such a small stack. You should just jam any 4 cards at that point. And we'll just get out of the way with this one. Wow, I'd be making a note on this player. Look at that. Just a fraction over 1 blind and still folding your stack. Any 4 cards you should be playing. I guess this is the $2.20 level, so it's not all that surprising. If I was a regular at this level, I would be making notes on players like that. Okay, probably gets out of the way. It's a bit too weak to play from mid position there. And another weak hand. It's going to have to get a move on. Stacks. Blinds keep going up. And we get a flop. Okay, well, we flopped a pair. It's not that great. Should fold to this bet. He does, yeah. Alright, this will be another folding hand, yeah. Of course, we know our player went on to win this, so he must pick up some cards soon. Another crazy hand the way that played. So this guy here was sort of small blocking betting this all the way, or whether he is drawing to a second not low. I'm not sure what he thought he had in that hand. Oh well. Our player will get out of the way again. Ooh, top two ran into top set. And he might play this one. No? Still playing a bit tight. I mean, I guess we've got jamming stacks behind us, so yeah, coming for a small raise, it's likely to get jammed. Small bet, small call. What have we got here? A low against, just trying to work out what he could be calling down with. A low against a straight, maybe? Or just two lows against each other? Not a great play by this player here. The guy over there, he got maximum value he could out of that hand. Okay, we've got a playable hand here. See what happens. Yep, this is plenty good hand to be stealing with from the small blind. Good. Oh, we got another good hand here. So we've only got, what, 12 blinds in our stack. Oh, it's been raised. But he's short. He's going to have to play. Oh, and a call. The only way, if he's going to play, he can't flat for this percentage of his stack. He's got to jam it. He does jam it, yep. Ooh, a bit more action he might have liked. But at least he survives the hand, even if he lost a small number of chips. He might even jam this high only hand. Oh, just under 11 blinds here. Actually, I wouldn't. I'd let my stack drop a little bit further before I jammed a high only hand there. Well, he's going to play this one, and all in pre-flop is the only way to do it with just over 10 blinds. Yep, that's what he does. It's called. I'd be making a note on the calling ranges of this guy at that stack size. It works out very nicely. A double up. Yay, Team 08. Okay, not much there. Hey, let's that ace, queen, 10, 5 go. And he won't play back here either, obviously, with a trashy hand like that one. Okay, he's got a good hand here. Interesting situation. Now we've got a really good hand to play against that short stack who's just jammed from under the gun with less than 3 blinds. But we don't really want to be playing post-flop out of position against this bigger stack. So if we're going to play this hand, it's got to be jammed. There's really no in between here. So jam it and hope that folds this guy out, and then play against this guy with a ton of equity over his, any 4 cards he'd be jamming, or should be. Let's see what our player does. Oh, he goes for a raise. Yeah, she didn't have to jam. That raise might do the trick. No, it doesn't. Oh, now he's going to play the pot out of position. So a continuation bet. So I'll just take that back. So, well, we got about 4,000, a bit over 4,000 the pots. He's betting about 40%. Oh, he gets raised. Now he's going to have to fold. That's, yeah. See, to play that, like I was saying, he should have jammed to get that big stack out of it. Well, as it turns out, the desperate short stack had a monster for the situation. So that wasn't so well played by our player. Lost half his chips. I don't think he'll jam there, no. This is a bit too weak to jam, but obviously he's just looking for something he can jam at this stage. That's not it. See if he goes with this one with 6 blinds. He's got to do it, and he does. Good. Gets called by a high only hand. Hey, flops quads. Beautiful. Yay, Team 08 player. Now he's got some chips again. Will he play here? No. Okay, he's going to be playing this one, obviously all in pre-flop if he can. Yep. Okay. Could have worked out better, but still. I think we're down to about 3 tables now. Might even be down to 2. Okay, can't really play that. Just a bit over 12 blinds, still in the jamming stack size. Personally, I don't like to let my stack get much below 12 blinds, but there are antes. I let it go a little bit lower in turbos. Now we're down to just over 10 blinds. He's got to jam this. Yep. And it works out okay in the end there. It could have gone a lot worse. That was a fortunate board. Great, so he's back in the game. Here's another hand he'll be looking to play somehow. Let's see how this actually... Okay, he's got a tricky situation here. Now, I hope he doesn't make the mistake that he made last time of coming into a pot with bigger stacks on his left that we're going to play. So really, his only options here are jam or fold. Playing multi-way pot out of position again against bigger stacks is not a good... And he folds, good. He didn't make the same mistake he made last time. Oh, interesting to note the range that this bigger stack here is prepared to play with on our left. Overdoing, going wide a bit. Okay, see what happens here. He probably won't play that against the bigger stack raising. No. Okay, he might steal with this. Oh, no, actually, those blinds have been playing loose, so he's probably not going to steal from them. Yes, as we can see, I mean, yeah, this guy's going to be hard to steal from. Okay, a bit too weak to jam the stack size. I'd certainly jam if I was down to 5 or 6 blinds, but not over 10. So we must be down to the last 2 tables now. We're getting close to the final table. A bit of a nothing hand there again. How does this play out? Oh, nice. 2 players gone and 1 hand. All right. So we're getting very close to the final table. It must be just a couple of players away from it now. Okay, let's see if we get a flop here. No. Well, there's a jam there. I think he could make a call. What does he do? He folds. Let's just take a step back here. I think we could make a call here. Let's just look at some equities. Now, our opponent has just over 3 blinds, if we see there. So he should be pretty much jamming any 4 cards. And if we look there at any 4 cards, it's pretty much a dead heat. So we've got the overlay from the pot. We can make that call, even with this. Apparently we can, because we do have, we do have 2 small cards for a low, and a couple of big cards for the high side. So yeah, I would actually seriously consider calling here. Our player folded, but I guess a reason, if I was trying to find a reason to fold this, it's because we're very close to the final table, only a couple of players left, and the money does jump up significantly. But yeah, I can't say folding's a huge mistake, but certainly calling was a possibility there. Anyway, let's keep moving along. Player folds, we go to the next hand. No, you won't play that against the bigger stack. Okay. Alright, so now we're at the second last table. I was a little bit ahead of myself before. He's obviously going to get out of the way there. He won't jam that. Okay, not much to work there, even though we're getting pretty desperate and need to jam. We're well under 10 blinds now. Have to chip up or go home. This is not the situation to do it. Not quite. Oh, definitely not with that. Okay, this is going in regardless. The action, yes. Oh, we get a bit more action than we would have liked, but it's played out rather well. And yeah, we got outflopped by a set, but made the flush. So yeah, players looking pretty good now. Okay, so up to over 22.5 blinds. That's a great position to be in as we approach the final table. Oh, and a good hand too. Let's see what he does here. Will he just jam it? Yeah, may as well jam it out of position. It's pretty strong. Oh, and another good hand. Let's see what happens here. Just goes to jam again. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, effective stack size of just under 15 blinds. It's a reasonable way to play the hand. Also increases the chance that this stack will fold out and that we'll play against the smaller stack all in. And he does make the call. And we take the pot. Nice. Okay, so what, there's must only be a couple of players left to the final table now. I know I said that earlier, but we're getting very, very close. Okay, another player gone. There must be only 1 or 2 left to go. We get a walk in the big blind. Oh, got a reasonable hand for the situation. Oh, this player up here, yeah, I wouldn't be eager to play this hand out of position. I mean, you can jam it, sure, but I wouldn't call and take a flop. No, he just folds. Like I said, we're pretty close to the FT. He won't play this one. That could be a final table. No, not yet. Okay, probably steal. Oh, he folds. That's a... I probably would have raised there. I mean, I wouldn't have mind calling if this shorter stack here jammed, but I guess so close to the final table, he's preserving his chips for that. But you know, I would have liked to have seen an open raise there. Just 2 times the blind would have been enough. Okay, he gets out of the way with those weak nines. Nothing to do there. Oh, here we go. We could be heading to a final table. How does it play out? Not yet. And he lets that one go. We'll get out of the way again here. And short stacks are surviving Okay, he's got a playable hand here. Let's see what he does. He just goes for the jam. Yeah, fair enough at these stack sizes. The effective stack sizes over here, you know, just a bit over 10 blinds. Okay, we've outflopped our opponent. And are we at the final table? No, so there must be another survivor on the other table hanging on, of course. It must be right on the edge of the FT now. Does he make the call? No, he doesn't. Look, I think we can make an argument for making a call here. You know, we've got plenty of chips. Equity is likely to be pretty good against the desperate jamming range of the small blind. Let's actually take a look at some ranges and some equities. So with our opponent on just over 6 blinds, he's going to be playing very wide. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they tighten up a bit when we're on the final table bubble, but okay, so let's be generous to our opponent and give them something pretty good, like an ace and a low card. We'd be just, you know, not far off a coin flip, certainly have the overlay in the pot to make that call. The other sorts of hands you could be playing here, of course, are a double suited hand with 2 wheel cards. In that case, we're ahead, the total group of those sorts of hands double suited with 2 wheel cards. And, you know, again, you know, we put him on a strong hand like ace deuce. We're not that far behind, but against a lot of his range, yeah, against a lot of his range, we're doing quite well. So yeah, I actually would have liked to have seen our player make the call there, but he didn't. Oh well, and there we go. We've made it to the final table. Okay, well that's the end of part 1. Click the link and come and have a look at part 2, which will play out the final table and see how our player managed to make the win. Anyway, we'll see you in part 2. Bye for now.